choose one of those instead, or go ahead and create the new one, if you insist. And the other part of creating new elements is when you create an element on the diagram, it gets saved in the same location in the model that the diagram is. Now, if you're doing a capability uplift and you create a new proposed SBB on there, I'm not sure being in the capability uplift package is necessarily the place that it should be. So that's the other thing. Being able to manage where elements go when you create them. You can either select a package location from the model, say this is where it should go, put it in the same place I went last time, or even better, here's a list of places where something of the same type already resides. So you can find those things very quickly and say, okay, that's the spot that I need to put it. Even better, you can just drag it on top of a package and it'll automatically save it underneath the package. So those are the kinds of things that you can keep moving, keep the rhythm going, but still not end up with all this stuff here and later on you have to move it into the right places. Of course, if you have done that, then the idea is, oh, all right, well, let me just drag it on top of this package. And it goes into the package. And you can have 5 packages, you can have 10 elements, put them into the different ones, click the button, there they go. That's good. So we're really getting towards the end, and like I said, this is getting into some specific requirements. If it's interesting, I'll keep going. If you've had enough, I won't take offense. We can call it.
3 minutes.
Pardon?
3 minutes.
I got 3 minutes. Okay, we'll rush through the 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. All right. That's handling the existing ones. We can move forward from that. And updating multiple connectors. This is an EA specific thing. You can only modify one connector at a time. So you design it so you can do all of them on a diagram or whatever. Let's go on. Oh, this was a pretty good one. A number of people had requested, I'd like to find out where all the information is flowing in my model, going from here to there. So this particular one will show wherever you've got conveyed information going from one element to another. So it could be conveyed information going from an activity to an activity, or it could be from a component, a business app, something like that, to another one through an exposed interface, and it'll still show you the actual components, not just those endpoints and so forth. And you can filter on what kind of information you want to see in this little example model that I had. It's a sports program, a development program that I put together when my kids played football. I did say that right, didn't I? Instead of soccer. So we had XML coach documents going around, XML player documents and so forth. So we could see wherever any of those things go. And you can just click on the diagram that's listed there and go, inspect it, whatever. Okay. I've talked about this. What can you create on a diagram? What can you add to a diagram? Whoops. What kind of relationships can you draw on a diagram? Just make sure that they all make sense within the architectural view that you're doing. Okay. This one I had mentioned before. Basically, and you'll get to see it later, but you've got, you click on an element, you bring it into the dialog, and you've got all the current relationships that they have. You can click on it and it'll take you to the element over in the browser or the diagram, and so forth. But the cooler one, the right one, is the candidate relationships. So like here, this thing was an activity. So an activity could deliver another activity. It could trace to an organizational unit. It could trace to an activity. It could be a business, a business surface realizes business behavior, which an activity is a subtype of. So you see all of the things that I could do with this particular element. And when I click on one of these, it says, here are the things in the model that can be on the other side of that relationship. Okay. Nesting is something that a number of people really like to use. they'll build this tree over in the browser, you know, and each thing underneath it is like a little more specific deal. In this particular case, we have services, enterprise architecture services. We have business services. These are IS services. Here's club administration. Underneath that is affiliate registration. Underneath that is something bogus, empty knowledge, coach management, and so forth. So you build this tree, and there could be a tree of ABBs, because an ABB can be made up of other ABBs and so forth. The problem with relying on that is that they can actually get moved around, and then you've lost the context. So what we do is allow you to automatically create nesting relationships, and that way, if they ever get moved around, you just come back here and say, recreate the tree, and it'll do that by the relationships. So that's the two types of relationships, the normal ones, and then the nested ones. And then the third one, go ahead. The third one, this one is where we're really starting getting a little bit complicated. I'll take the example of an activity requires an information service from something in the IS architectural layer. Now, so the activity will have like tag values on it saying, I need this, I need that, I need this other thing, and so forth. The guys down at the IS layer are going to say, I can provide this and this and this. So what we want to do is connect them up based on the need and the supply. So once you've selected the client, then you select its need. Once again, it goes out and finds elements out in the model that can supply that need. So you basically have a tertiary relationship. You know, you have the client, you have the supplier, but you also have the need, which is just another model element, or whatever. So it pulls all of that information together. We also leverage the tags with lifecycle information, like the planned begin, planned end date, planned actual begin, actual end dates. And we will put them on the client, we'll put them on the supplier, we even put them on the connector. And that tells us when is this activity, in this particular example, when's that activity going to be going into place, and we need to satisfy it. When is the supplier around? If it's going to be retired soon, that's not the right one to choose. Then we also have it on the connector, and the connector will have not just those four tags, the dates, it will also have the requirement, what it is that they need that the supplier is supplying. You know, because the client could have 10 requirements, the supplier might supply 3 of them, but not, you know, the rest of them are of no interest. So the connector, in the relationship is what ties it all together. And you'll see all of the dates to make sure everything's matching up, that this is going to be around when I need it, you know, and so forth. I think we're about to the end. Let's just do a roll if there's anything else. No, we already did that. That's nothing. Now, we're good. We're good.
I've got 2 more slides if you want to. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions from anybody?
Can I ask one? So you've got a model. Does it generate... you've got this model, right? So you've modelled your business functions. And does it generate stubs where you can generate code? Because models are great.
EA does do code generation and regeneration. Question?
I was wondering if you've got workflow functionality to control governance and changes to models.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute, let me come back. What was that?
I'm wondering if you've got workflow capabilities to wrap governance processes around model changes.
No, that's fine. No, we have the you know, some of that promotion process, but it's not anywhere near the level that I think you're talking about. Write something up for me. I'm always looking for ideas to help. Anybody else?
Brilliant, thank you. Two things. First of all, we're going to be releasing the date of the conference early next week. The conference is going to be running on July the 17th. It's a whole day event. We've got the whole of this floor booked out. We've got 20 speakers. We've got workshops. So it's going to be an interesting day. Unfortunately, due to space, there's only going to be 120 places available. So we're kind of, you know, if you're interested in attending, when it goes up, I strongly recommend you know, put your name down for it, because as I said, there is only 120 places. That's the first thing. The second thing is, we're all tired, there's wine outside, sandwiches, thank you for coming.